I went to a conference and pitched my MVP.
So I want to revolutionize learning.
And pretended to be a proper startup.
It would help not only the user, because the user can see where you're doing well and where you're doing poor, like what words are really difficult. So there's like a countdown timer to give you a bit of a thrill. And I'm also documenting this journey on YouTube. So feel free to follow me there.
And I got roasted.
I have to say, with all the red ocean of language apps, I don't see any positioning. Sorry.
Yeah, thanks for the feedback.
I wanted to pitch my app for practice, feedback, and other reasons. And I was randomly browsing Meetup. I saw this random event there where you can pitch your startup. So I emailed them. I spontaneously decided to try it. And about a day later, I got a response to send in my pitch deck, and that the organizer, she would squeeze me in. So I had another day to do the slide deck. Finally, I get there like a minute early because I have no clue when they start. And it's some random event that is actually a conference, which is already sort of ongoing, but they're like just doing other stuff. So I just asked some random people that are there, where is this meetup happening, this pitch? And finally the thing happens, but I realize that they forgot about me. So I'm not really on the agenda. I already talked to the tech guy, which gave me and given him my presentation, because he told me, so I sent the presentation to the organizer, but she kind of went under or something. So I already had an inkling that, maybe they forgot me. And then so in the middle of so already two startups presented their stuff. It was really serious. They were really established startups. I had to walk in front, I was at the very beginning, very front of the stage, so to say, in the row of the seats, and I had to get my elbows out a bit. I had to talk to her. Hey, did you get me into the schedule? She's like, no, I forgot. Sure, can you go next? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I had to get my elbows out a bit to really present, and then really spontaneously it was showtime. The other startups that were presenting, there were 4 or 5 other people. They were really established, so they had a team behind them. Some of them, I think, had funding. They had already worked on it for a year or so. They had some traction in terms of, I think, paying customers. So they seemed really legit. So that was funny to me, because it was kind of obvious that I was just, I was just some random dude presenting my MVP there, and the idea behind it, not really an established startup and not really planning to be one. Because I think technically the pitch was to get into the incubator of the company that was hosting this event. So I start presenting my idea, my MVP. My MVP is a bit of a short story, so I went and explained a bit more about the motivation behind building it. And I had a good time. It was quite a bunch of fun to, do this again, talk to a bunch of people about my idea, and pretend like I'm a proper startup. And I was fairly nervous, but it was fine. I went over time a bunch, which didn't totally help me not being nervous, or me being nervous and trying not to be nervous. And then finally the question and answer session came around. And I think already the first question, I just got roasted. So this dude gets up and he just tells me, there's so many other language learning startups and they have pronunciation inbuilt. And when he said this, I was a bit confused. I was like, okay, I guess maybe he's gonna ask me about if I will add pronunciation to this app, which I really don't plan on doing, and I don't think it matters. But then he mentioned this pronunciation thing. He just ended it. I forgot exactly what he said, but he just said something along the lines of, and therefore I think you're wasting your time and you will fail, something like this. And I think one person, it was a bit awkward also, and I smiled a bit, and then I just told him thank you for your feedback, and everybody kind of laughed. But yeah, sometime later, some people somebody said yeah, I'm a bit sorry that it was a bit rough, but to me it's fine. It's fun to stir the pot a bit, and I enjoy the lively discussions and these lively reactions to what I do. So I had a good time. There was also some other critical questions, but also a bunch of really positive feedback. People saying that the gamification approach is nice and I should push more in that direction, and some other ideas where I could take this.
So you get lots of users from having the gamification in the app. Maybe having more gamification aspects there could even add more users. And that would be maybe something that you could just try and see if it already brings you towards the 1,000 users.
Yeah, generally it was quite a nice experience. Something that happened the last time I did this 3 years ago, where people also roasted me, but then after it, people are actually quite nice. The same thing happened here. So I got fairly a critical reception within the Q&A, but once I was done, once the whole thing was done and it was time to network, people were actually quite friendly to me. And like some random guy or some dude that was part of the organizers, he was really friendly to me. And turns out like he was the CEO. He told me they're not really interested in like what I do, but he thinks like, I don't know, maybe he can work with me. I don't know, like whatever. So it was just nice to like, I wasn't really seriously trying to get into any incubator. Not for now, maybe in the future. So it was nice to get this warm reception. And then also some other lady, she was like, you should apply for our incubator. I think you'd be a great fit. And I was like, oh, that's really nice. And she gave me some info. And then the organizer lady, she also gave me like a bunch of feedback and like, hey, talk to this person. They can help you to get into their incubator. It was a good way to see if I was going to walk down this road and try to make this really successful, this particular app, how I should proceed, where I should go. So I went to having a vague idea of an MVP, to building it, to posting it to Hacker News to get some validation and some users, to actually going to a conference and pitching it and getting some feedback there and some encouragement to join some incubators. I hope you enjoyed this video. So have a really nice day. Bye.